Hello, Internet. So, last night was quite the adventure. I wound up in the ER. I'm okay. But basically, what had happened was I get disconnected from my pump, the 48-hour pump, and even before that, I was feeling really bad, like really sick, and I was dry heaving. After I was disconnected, I tried to eat something, and then started in with like vomiting and extreme abdominal pain that just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and it happened in waves. Um, and it got to the point where I was absolutely screaming in pain. I'd never felt anything that bad. I mean, this was. I'm pretty sure I've never been stabbed before, but I'm pretty sure this is what it feels like to be stabbed. Um, and I took medication to try to, make it stop, and it didn't stop. So, around about 9 o'clock last night, I got my neighbor to drive me to the ER, and it was such a haze. I mean, I can't remember a lot of what happened. That's really weird. Like, I was in so much pain that I actually can't remember it. Like, my brain is actually blocking out a lot of it. What I do remember is I got to the ER. I told them um, what I was experiencing. I made sure to let them know that I had cancer. But here's the weird part: when they asked me what type of cancer, I forgot. I actually had to like sit there and really concentrate and be like, what kind of cancer do I have again? It was really strange. Um, the pain was so bad that it actually interfered with my mental process. How strange is that? Um, and then they got me into a wheelchair and wheeled me into a triage room, and then they eventually got me into a bed. I was. There were times when it would double up, where I was throwing up and feeling stabbing pain at the same time, and that was the worst. That was so awful. I can't even begin to describe how bad it was. Um, Eventually, they got a line in, and they started me on an IV drip, and they gave me Benadryl and morphine. And here's the thing about morphine. Maybe it was the combination of Benadryl, but people talk about how it feels really good, how it makes you feel amazing, this sense of euphoria. Excuse me. I didn't feel that. I just felt numb and really tired. And so I just drifted off into sleep. I woke up at one point while they were doing x-rays of my abdomen. And then I woke up again a little bit later when the doctor woke me to tell me that there was an obstruction. They gave me basically a high-powered laxative. I was constipated, and it was such that it was causing the pain in my abdomen, and also making me throw up because I couldn't. The food wasn't going down the right way, so it had to come out. Um, and I fell back asleep, and then I woke up around 2:30 in the morning, and I was told that I was being discharged because they did everything that they could, and I was fine. Um, and so then I went out into the lobby, the waiting room, and I called like half a dozen cab companies, and I honestly don't remember this part. In my drug-addled haze, I swear they weren't speaking English. Now that could be the case, or it could be that I just couldn't understand them over the phone because of just what the drugs were doing to me. So I finally asked one of the nurses to call me a cab, and they did. And I fell asleep on a couch in the waiting area, and then next thing I know, I was being woken up around 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. The taxi was there, and he drove me home, and I paid him. I handed him a $10 bill and said, "Keep it." I only live 2 miles away from the hospital. I didn't care. Like at that point, it was just like, thank God this is over. And I stumbled inside, and I crawled into bed, and I slept a good long while. And when I woke up, I was fine. I feel all right. Still coming off of chemo, so there's that. But the whole experience, just looking back on it, feels like a dream, like a nightmare. It doesn't feel real. I imagine a lot of that has to do with the drugs, but also just like maybe a defense mechanism on my brain's part to just kind of distance myself from the pain. Because I am telling you, they hospitals have that stupid arbitrary pain scale. Like, oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least pain or no pain at all, and 10 being the worst pain you've ever felt, what are you feeling? And I've always hated when they ask me that, because it's like, it's arbitrary. It's highly subjective. It's not scientific at all. And judging somebody's pain based off of that is ridiculous. But for the first time ever, I can honestly say that this was easily a 10 out of 10. It is the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life. I was screaming. I was crying. Um, I must have freaked out my neighbor something awful, because I screamed in the car ride on the way to the hospital. It was bad. It was so bad. But it's over now, and I'm home, and I'm safe, and I'm feeling good. I feel fine. Still a little groggy, but the drugs have worn off, and everything else is, is fine. I'm trying to make myself eat, which is difficult. But I threw up everything that I ate yesterday, so I got to get something in me. But otherwise, I'm all right. I'm okay. So that's really it. That was my ER adventure. I really hope that does not happen again. That was bad. That was so bad. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. So I'm okay. And I will update again soon. So take care.